Before Tishrei, we had discussed the dinim of Shalashudis. There's some interesting dinim associated with Mincha and Shabbos. Mincha, the whole Seder of Mincha and Shabbos, Torah, Tzikoscha, page Shin Zayin.
Shin Zayin?
Page Shin Zayin.
Shabbos.
Simidei Sadik Beis, Din Tfilas Mincha v'Shabbos. Noyegin, Loimar, Acher Ashrei, according to Tfilas Mincha v'Altzin Goyal. On a regular weekday, we don't say, we say before Mincha, we just say Ashrei. On Shabbos, we also say, v'Altzin Goyal, Shabbos V'Yakev, the whole piece of v'Altzin.
Sfaradim say also Lam Netzeach.
Yeah? On Shabbos?
Not only Ashrei, yeah. The whole Lam Netzeach.
The whole Seder Kedusha, and we say the Seder Kedusha, which is Vata Kodesh, 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 Baruch Yimleich, V'Mokim Seder Kedusha, Shem Ayim V'Chol Yom HaBoker. A regular day, we usually say a Volat Tzion and the Seder Kedusha in the morning. Over here, we push it to Mincha, Shabbos B'Yad Marichim V'Til Shachar S'Mosif, Hinichu Ad HaMincha. Because in the morning we had a long davening, so we moved it over to Mincha time to save all its sin. A practical reason.
You don't save. Don't think you don't save.
Huh?
You don't save.
Don't save. How about Mincha? Page Shin Zayin. Shin and Zayin. Ezra Tikin Shiyu Gimel Anashim Koyrim B'Tziv Torah B'Tziv Chol Shabbos B'Mincha. We know Moshe Rabbeinu Takana was you should every day, every third day you should read from the Torah. Shouldn't go 3 days without reading the Torah.
Right.
So we have Monday, Thursday, Shabbos. But why are you reading Shabbos afternoon? Shabbos Mincha, why are you reading again? That's from a Takana of Ezra. It's much later on. Ezra made a Takana 3 people should read from the Sefer Torah B'Tziv Chol Shabbos Mincha Asar Psukim. Altogether, you should read at least 10 psukim.
Before Ezra, the one reading in the Torah?
No. From Mincha Shabbos. Or Yoiser, mi Parshas HaShavua Haba, from the next week's Parsha. Why? Because those people that are very busy with their business the whole week. They do not come to hear Kriyas Torah Mondays and Thursdays, so they don't hear about the Parsha, the next week's Parsha. It's a
beautiful idea, what Ezra thought.
Yeah?
Beautiful.
Now, what happens if Yom Tov falls out on Shabbos? Usually when Yom Tov falls out on Shabbos, in the morning you don't read about Shabbos. You read about Yom Tov. You read the psukim that have to do with that Yom Tov. On Shavuos, you read about Matan Torah, the Karbanos of Shavuos. And Sukkos, we read about Sukkos. But in the afternoon, Mincha, that Yom Tov that falls on Shabbos in the afternoon, and Mincha time we read the Parsha of the week. We do read the Parsha of the week. Koydim in Parsha Shua above a labor Parsha Yom Tov she'ein in the Yom Tov klal the Kriyas HaTorah. Because Mincha and Shabbos, the Kriyas HaTorah has nothing to do with Yom Tov. The reason why we're reading Torah is because it's Shabbos, not because it's Yom Tov. On a Yom Tov, do you read the Torah by Mincha? No. So therefore, we don't read this Kriya something about Yom Tov. In the morning, the Kriyas HaTorah, the reason why you're reading is because Yom Tov, you're supposed to read the Torah. So you read about Yom Tov. But the Kriyas HaTorah after Mincha is here because it's Shabbos. Because today is also Shabbos. The Shabbos and Yom Tov together. So therefore you read the Parshas HaShavua. You don't read about the Yom Tov. By the way, similar thing, similar idea, whenever Yom Tov, when it falls on the Shabbos, so we mention Shabbos in the bracha and the Shemona Esrei. We say, Baruch Atah Hashem, Mekadosh HaShabbos, Yisrael B'Zmanim. So we mention Shabbos, and on a Shabbos we say Mekadosh HaShabbos. If it would just be Yom Tov, you say Mekadosh Yisrael B'Zmanim. When it's Shabbos and Yom Tov, you put it both together, Mekadosh Shabbos Yisrael B'Zmanim. However, we know that Friday night after davening, we have, even though we don't have on a regular night of Ma'ariv, Chazal did not enact a Chazaras Hashatz, where the Shliach Tzibur Chazal should repeat Shemon Esrei. We did not masakin that for Ma'ariv. We only have Shabbos and Mincha, we repeat the Shemon Esrei.
We do a short.
We don't repeat it for Ma'ariv. But night of Shabbos, we make a short version of Chazaras Hashatz. And we finish it off. Baruch Hashem Mekadesh HaShabbos. We finish off. So we have a mini called Barachas Me'ein Sheva. It's Me'ein. It includes a little bit of all the 7 brachas of the Shemona Esrei. It's a mini Chazaras Hashatz. This was only, the takana was only for Shabbos to do this. Leil Shabbos. So even when Yontif falls out on Shabbos, when that night, the night of Yontif and Shabbos, the night davening, and we say the mini Chazaras Hashatz, we don't change the nusach. We still say Baruch Atah Hashem Mekadesh HaShabbos. We don't say Mekadesh Shabbos v'Yisrael v'Azmanim, even though it's Yontif. Because this whole bracha only came here because of Shabbos, so therefore it stays with the bracha nusach HaShabbos. Just like over here. Because the Kriyas Torah Mincha by Mincha is because of Shabbos, even though it's today's Yom Tov, but the reason why we're reading is not because it's Yom Tov, because it's Shabbos, so we don't change the Kriya. The Kriya in the morning you read about Yom Tov, but the Kriya and Mincha and Shabbos is only about the Parashat Shavua, because this Kriya we're reading only because it's Shabbos today.
Why we said Mekadesh HaShabbat Yisrael v'Azmanim? Mekadesh HaShabbat v'Azmanim. Why are you putting this? We know it's Israel. Why the Israel come in the middle?
Because Voy Israel.
The whole Shabbat is Mekadesh Israel. With the Kedusha is for Israel. Here we have the Zmanim, Yom Tov.
When there's no Yom Tov, you don't say Mekadesh Shabbos.
Okay.
Come Yom Tov.
Mekadesh Shabbos, that's
No, it's
Zmanim.
nothing new.
You didn't make Shabbos? Does he even make Yom Tov?
Israel.
Because
But Israel Mekadesh Shabbat also.
Israel Mekadesh. No, I'm still Mekadesh Shabbat.
As I'm saying, you didn't make the calendar.
we make the Moedim.
The nusach's a little funny. The nusach should be a little differently, but
No, it's
Shabbos is Ebesh
the way it
Mekadesh.
should be. First Shabbat, then Yisrael came along, and then the Moedim came along.
Right.
Because if not for Israel, it would not be Moedim. It would just be regular days.
Right.
The Ebesh is Mekadesh
Yeah.
Shabbos.
Yeah,
The Jewish people.
saying a very good shot.
He answered it, yeah.
His answer is good, yeah.
Why can't we say the Ebesh is Mekadesh Shabbos and the Jewish Mekadesh Yom Tov?
We don't say, the thing is, the nusach doesn't bring out that Yidden are Mekadesh Shabbos, but just the Kaddish Yom Tov. It just says that Hashem is Mekadesh the Yidden. But the inference is that the Yidden are Mekadesh,
The Yom Tov?
Hashem is Mekadesh Yidden, and then the Yidden go on and they
Mekadesh Yom
make
Tov.
holy Yom Tov.
No, also God Himself is Mekadesh, is the Zmanim, but He does it through
Klal
Jews.
Yisrael.
To Israel.
But Shvat He did
Doesn't
directly.
Mekadesh Goyim, Mekadesh Israel.
He did Shabbos
Very good
before he did the Jewish people? No.
Now,
He did Adam Rishon and then he did Shabbos.
Vafilu. Now, Siv Gimel. Noig in Loimer Koidim Kiyas HaTorah. We have a minute to read before reading Torah.
It tfilati.
The pasuk Vani Svilasi.
Lecha et ratzon. Ani Hashem.
Why?
Moshe Darshu.
The Vani Svilasi Api Mashadarshu Chacham. Chazal were Deirish expounded on the pasuk Yisichu Bi Yeshishar Unigines Shoisei Shecher. Because of Acher Ani Tfilasi. The Yisichu Bi Yeshishar Unigines Shoisei Shecher. Even those that they are drinking, but Vani Svilasi they daven to Hashem. Aber David Lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rebbeinu Shalom. David HaMelech is saying with this pasuk before Hashem, Ein umazu kishar umas ha'olam. This nation is not like the nations of the world. Umas ha'olam kishem shoysim, umashtakrim, hoyuchon and peichazim. They go out and party. V'anu loikein. Even though we drank, we had a sort of Shabbos, and we had wine, and we had a big soda. What do we finish off? Anis Filasi. We daven to Hashem. That's where we end up. Not just shikrus, drinking for drinking. We drink, and it brings us closer to Hashem. L'kach and higu loimer kin koidim kriyas haTorah. Therefore, we read this pasuk, Vanis Filasi, before kriyas haTorah. Because Vanis Filasi brings out this point, so they made a takana to read it before kriyas haTorah. Why? You could say it another time. Why do you have to say it right before kriyas haTorah? What's the whole reading of the Torah? Why are we reading the Torah on Shabbos afternoon?
For the people who don't come to shul.
People don't come to shul during the week, so they're not in the highest madrega, right?
And you figure
to thank Hashem, He did not make our portion like the goyim shem poichs and kol hayoyim. V'anu, and we afa yoyshe karim shabanu, even those that don't come to shul all week, just ask them l'shoyah Torah. So therefore, it's a very nice tefillah to say, to bring out the Maila of Klal Yisrael.
But what's the continue of the tefillah? V'ani tefillati lecha et ratzon, aneni be'emet Hashem yishrecha. Let's give Hashem, please, listen to my tefillah.
Yeah.
So I think it's beautiful for this Yoshvei Krano that they don't come to hear during the week. They're saying, Anen, Hashem, please listen to me.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. Now, b'yantiv shechal b'choil, when we have yontiv during the week, during mincha, noig and laimrei, ha'lein kavod teve mincha. Since we don't read Torah by mincha, we don't say Vanis Filasi, because Chazal instituted a connection with the Yerushai Kranis. So we don't say Vanis Filasi. When we tam zeh, for this reason, Gam b'Shabbos b'mokim shein sefer Torah and tzarich laimrei. Even when on Shabbos, when someone finds himself in a place where there is a minyan, however, there is no sefer Torah. In tzarich laimrei, you do not need to say Vanis Filasi, because it was whole takana was to say it with kriyas haTorah. So if it's either Yom Tiv or you're in a Shabbos, if there's no sefer Torah, you don't say it. But the minig is that whenever it's Shabbos, we always say it. That's the minig. So the minig is, even if one does not have a sefer Torah, we say the pasuk Vani Svilasi. Even though that's a minig, even though the takana originally was only for the sefer Torah. But the minig is that we don't change, we always say it.
Who says that it was only with the sefer Torah?
Shulchan Aruch.
Magen
Avram.
Where did he get this notion from?
The whole takana was only for to read it with the
Yes,
sefer.
where did he get that notion from?
No, that you shouldn't. That you should or you shouldn't.
That it's connected to the sefer Torah.
That well, the Rishonim say.
Okay, you're still being very vague. I mean,
Shibai the Halakhet says it, and the Kolboy.
it's connected to the sefer Torah.
Yeah, it's connected to the fact that we want to bring out that the whole Kriyas HaTorah of Mincha was only instituted for the Yoshvei Karnot. They don't come to shul, but even they come to shul on Mincha Shabbos to hear Kriyas HaTorah.
So what's that have to do with the pasuk?
Because the pasuk is talking about Vanis Filasi, is talking about those that are bringing out the Maila of Jewish people over Goyim, that Jewish people, the Goyim drink and they party and they shikr. On the other hand, Klal Yisrael, even though they drink and they have a Suda Shabbat and they have all the delicacies and they have a big party, still no, they're coming to shul and they're davening and they're learning. Even the Yoshvei Karnot are coming to Kriyat HaTorah.
According to the Zohar, the purpose of that pasuk has nothing to do with the sefer Torah. It has to do with the fact that Mincha Shabbat is an 8-foot zone.
So that could be taka why the minig is to say it in Shabbos even when there's none. There's a Kabbalistic reason and a Nigla reason. Based on the reason given in Paskim, it doesn't make sense to say it every Shabbos. But the minig is still to say it. Could be it's taka based on a Kabbalistic reason.
Maybe that's why Yom Tov we don't say it at all. And Yom Tov also we could say that people are eating and drinking in Yom Tov, and nevertheless they come to daven Mincha.
But the Iker was Kriyas HaTorah, that they come to Kriyas HaTorah.
Right.
But yeah. Ein Echanami. Now, what do we do with Kaddish? Usually we always say a Kaddish after Kriyas HaTorah. After we read a Torah, we always say a Kaddish.
Not by Mincha.
This morning we leined, we said a Kaddish. But in Mincha, we don't say a Kaddish. Because what about you also say a Kaddish before Shemon Esrei. So what are you going to do? You're going to say two Kaddishim one after another? Kaddish after Kriyas HaTorah, and right away a second Kaddish before Shemon Esrei, and there's not going to be, what's going to be the hefsek in between? Ein oimrim Kaddish acher Kriyat HaTorah b'mincha, she'ein kam b'mel hafsek bin Kaddish zeh, l'Kaddish she'oimrim koidim tefillah b'lachash. We don't have anything to make a hefsek to divide between the two Kaddishim that we say after Kriyat HaTorah and a Kaddish that you're going to say before tefillah b'lachash. She'af shenagim loimer yihalu, even though you could say, we say when the Torah is put back in the Aron, we say the pasuk yihalu. V'kol makim pasuk echadu, it's only one pasuk. Ve'ein echoshev hefsek. It's not considered a hefsek. V'asu loimer beis kadeshim zeh achar zeh, b'loi hefsek psukim mein time. We're not allowed to say two psukim one after another, kadeshim, without any hefsek of psukim in between. So therefore we only say one kaddish. Therefore, what should one do when has no Sefer Torah? If you're in a minyan but there's no Sefer Torah, so you have a problem. There's a kaddish that you say after Volatzin and the kaddish before, and you don't have anything to divide it. There's no Kriyas Torah in the middle. You have no Sefer Torah. Don't only say one Kaddish. I'll say after the first Kaddish, after Kaddish, I could say Vanis Filasi. Again, we have a problem. Shanis Filasi ain't el pasuk echad. Ve'ein yichashe hefsek. It's not considered a hefsek. V'toiv she'oz lo yoimru klal. Best thing is, in such a situation,
You have but then Sefer Torah, don't say Vanis Filasi.
don't say Vanis Filasi at all. Because then you're going to make a hefsek before Shemon Esrei.
Kaddish in Shmona Esrei, one pasuk.
When are you going to do it? When are you going to say Vanis Filasi? Or Yimru Koidim a Kaddish Miyad Afasim say the Kedusha. Or one should say it before the Kaddish, right after you finish say the Kedusha, meaning after Kaddish. You're not supposed to make a hefsek between Kaddish and Shemon Esrei. You're supposed to directly go from the Kaddish to the Shemon Esrei. So either don't say Vanis Filasi in such a situation, or put Vanis Filasi before the Kaddish. We never start davening without a Kaddish before, besides for Shachris. Because we want God Yisrael should come next to Shemon Esrei, Smichas Gula Tefillah, we don't say a Kaddish. For Mincha, Ma'ariv, Musaf, we always say a Kaddish. Ne'ilah, we always say a Kaddish before, by all our Tefillahs.
So why Chabad noeg to say Kaddish and then say the pasuk Yahalalu?
One second. By the way, in Note Chaf Aleph, on the bottom, Note Chaf Aleph, they bring down that in the Siddur of the Alter Rebbe, he changed, not in the Shulchan Aruch, the Alter Rebbe said, when you have no Sefer Torah,
Don't say it.
you can either don't say it at all, or say it before Kaddish. He didn't give a clear guidance. But in the Siddur, he said, "Makim she'ein sefer Torah, oimer mechatzi kaddish achav v'nis filasi." So the ma'ase of the minig is, like we say earlier,
Because they go straight to Shemon Esrei.
when there is no sefer Torah, we do say v'nis filasi, and we say a kaddish. It was a minyan, right? Say a kaddish and go straight to Shemon Esrei. We don't want to interrupt v'nis filasi after.
And this is just Shabbos.
Yeah. Now, what were you asking?
Chabad, the minhag is to say the Kaddish, right? Agbos is the Torah, Mincha, and then you say Kaddish. You don't start Shmona Esrei right away. You say Fos Yalalu and then you start Shmona Esrei. If the Alter Rebbe said not to make any effort between Kaddish and the Shmona Esrei, you should not say the Yalalu.
So this is a big problem. It's a big issue. There's no real clarity in Lubavitch about when should be the timing of Yihalu.
How should we do it like that? First, you're saying
First of all, the Chazan for sure should not do it this way.
right.
The Chazan who is actually saying the Kaddish should not interrupt with saying Yihalu.
After his Kaddish.
It's only a Chabad problem. Because everyone else, what they do is, they put the Sefer Torah back into the Aron, then they start Kaddish. However, minhag Chabad is to connect the Kaddish to after the reading of the Torah, to keep 2 and 1.
Right.
That you do it, you start saying the Kaddish when you're doing Galila on the Sefer Torah,
Right.
and you continue the Kaddish till the Sefer Torah goes into Aron. So basically the Kaddish goes for both, a double hitter, the ending of Kriyas Torah and the beginning of Shemona Esrei. The problem is now, when should we say the pasuk Yehalo, which is when you put the Sefer Torah back into the Aron? If before the person got up even to say the Sefer, to lift up the Sefer Torah, you're still in the middle of doing Glila, you start saying Kaddish, and you finish it right before Shemona Esrei, so when is Yehalo supposed to be? It's not clear. By the way, when the Rebbe himself was a Chazan on Shabbos, because he had yard site, he did not do like the minhag Chabad.
He did not.
No. He himself waited till the Sefer Torah went into the Aron.
And then he start Kaddish?
Yeah.
So why not from the time?
At the ending, when it was going in already, so there was no problems of Yihalu. Now it could be that the Rebbe in the ending was concerned with the saying of Yihalu, and therefore he didn't want to make any issues of hefsek, so he said it before.
So why didn't
When he
the
privately
next time?
davened every Shabbos, what I've heard that he did say it after the Kaddish, in between the Kaddish and Esrei. The Shaila Hefsik. It could be the Shaila Hefsik is basically for the Chazan. So l'chora, based on what we learned here, the Chazan should definitely not say Yihalu in between. The Tzibur, there's not clarity as to what they should be doing. A lot of the oil does say it afterwards, and that's what they
But
say
the
they never
Chazan says
did.
Yalalu before he start making Glili? They do Akbe, say Yalalu, and then let him, no, because the shelter is still open.
Some people want to say, some people have a whole different twist. You want to say, when it says in Sefer HaMinhagim Chabad that the minhag Chabad you should do it, start saying the Kaddish Karov L'Seif HaGlila.
Right.
Usually it's interpreted to mean that towards the ending of the Galila of the Sefer Torah you should start saying it.
Right.
Say a different shot they say. Karov can mean at the ending of the Galila. Galila's over.
Right.
Karov L'Seif HaGlila, close in proximity to after you finish Galila, start saying the Kaddish.
That means say Yalalu and then say Kaddish.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
Kehilot
the
say
best is if the Chazan should
when they carry
say.
the Torah to the Aron, they say
Mincha,
Mizmor David, yeah, and it's the whole pasuk in the hefsek, and then you can say Kaddish, no
and then they say Kaddish after.
A mincha or a mincha?
Mincha.
But the issue of Yihalu is a big discussion about it. There's no,
There's a lot of ink spill on it.
it's not, there's not so much
Sitting in
clarity in
the
it. It's not from the very deep sukkahs, but there's no clarity exactly according
Because
to the
some
minhag
people even
Chabad.
say it in the middle of the Kaddish. This is the problem also.
But for sure the Chazan should not say Yihalu. The Chazan of Dagmam should not say Yihalu. He shouldn't say Yihalu, that's it. He doesn't have to say Yihalu.
What's
Why
your
It's not ma'akiv.
We're
It's not
praising
ma'akiv.
Hashem,
It's more
Yahalelu Hashem
possible.
Hashem.
No, but this
Right, but we don't
one
make a
possible-
hefsek in Kaddish and Shemona Esrei. The Chazan saying the actual Kaddish, he shouldn't make a hefsek.
My question is like this: if they saw that the Rebbe did it in this particular fashion, why not the next week didn't they do the same thing? Because I know that there are guys who their whole life they observed the Rebbe exactly to see what the Rebbe was doing and what, how which fingers he placed on his tefillin to kiss his tefillin, all these things like
You
this.
know, they say a joke. There was someone, he was trying to copy the Rebbe very, very much. He said about a certain person, he was very much into copying everything he would try to do like the Rebbe. And he was, when he got married, when he was going to get married, he also wanted to get married in Warsaw because the Rebbe got married in Warsaw. The The thing is, that when the Rebbe's wedding, his parents couldn't make it because they were stuck in Russia. The Russians didn't let them out.
So he didn't want to.
So Rebbe was there just his in-laws, but his parents couldn't make it to the wedding. They made a celebration in their city that night with their people in their city, but they weren't there. So, anyways, this person who was copying the everything wanted like the Rebbe called his parents and told his parents, I'm making the wedding in Warsaw. Said, if you make it in Warsaw, we're not coming. He said, noch besser. they don't come. It's even better. It's mamash like by the Rebbe. The parents didn't come either. So we.
I'm shaking it.
That's the real pshat. That's the real pshat. Everyone has to know that there's certain limitations to, copying a tzaddik or something. Someone wants to do something. People that are, it's a borderline. It's problems. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. Besides, there's certain things that are meant only for the Rebbe does, not for everyone.
So what mitavek be'afar?
The main thing we should copy the Rebbe is in his Bidas Toivus and his learning, but those things are the harder things. So people like to copy the Rebbe in the easier things,
Whatever they want only.
They could pinch the hat and they could do other things, but those are the easy things.
Finish the whole shas like the Rebbe.
Exactly. That's what.
Not these people.
Someone told me he saw, in Lubavitch, the Hakafis on Simchas Torah start at 12 o'clock at night. When the Rebbe was here, it started at 12 o'clock at night. And then it started at 12 o'clock at night, and they used to fabring before, and people would go on Halucha. The Rebbe would wait till everyone came back from walking to different shuls, long distances. Meanwhile, while they were all walking to all the shuls to bring Simcha to other shuls, he would fabring with a small group that stayed behind. And he would fabring. And then he would fabring, and he'd wait for everyone to come back, and then they would go to have a Ma'ariv and then they would have Hakafas. So, Hakafas started at 12.
Mm-hmm.
And after Hakafas finished, he went to have the Suda. Right? And then in the earlier years, the Suda was by his mother-in-law, the Frierdiker Rebbe's wife, where the Rebbetzin was still there, so she made the Suda upstairs in her apartment. It's on the second floor, 770. They had the Suda there. And after he finished, then in the early years, the Rebbe would come back down to 770 downstairs, and he would teach a niggin.
4 a.m.
Early in the morning, teach a new niggin. A new niggin to the Hasidim.
Nice wedding, huh?
And he would wait till all the Hasidim picked up on it. He would teach them the niggin, and he would wait till they tried to sing it a few times till they picked up on it. He did that for like 16 years.
The 14 nigunim you have from the Rebbe, that's the nigunim.
Now, anyways, there was 1 year after all this avodah, the whole night, the Rebbe went back to his room. So the blinds were a little open. So this person wanted to see what the Rebbe was doing.
The same guy who wanted to
So he was a little, chutzpah. He went to look inside.
The same guy you talked about the story before that wanted to make his wedding in Warsaw? Or a different guy?
This guy he looked inside, and he saw the Rebbe with a big Gemara or a big Shulchan Aruch, the big Sefer, and he was pashet, haraving and steiging away and learning. That's what he was doing. After the whole long night.
That's a Rebbe.
Not what he was doing.
No, other Rebbeim, after a conference, they come into the room and they open Shulchan Aruch.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, did Rebbe have Orchim and his Sudas?
The Sudas, his private meals he didn't have.
The Seder.
The meals that were upstairs held in the Frierdiker Rebbe's apartment.
Yeah.
There were a lot of guests. No, it was open to the public. There were guests that sat around the table, and people could come and watch from the side. But he wasn't the one in charge of inviting. His in-laws invited. It was other people invited. He didn't get involved. The Rebbe came to the Suda. He came to his mother-in-law's Suda, but he didn't get involved inviting people. But there was mainly the older Hasidim were there, and then there were a few people that needed a Suda, and then would come. And then other people were able to come later on and watch and listen into the conversation. Sif Hey. Nayagin Loimar Gimel Psukim Sitkascha. The meaning is to say the 3 Psukim of Sitkascha Tzedek Li'olam, right? Mehem Ke'ein Sido Kadin. By a caver, after someone's nifter, we say what's called the Baruch of Tziduk Hadin. Where we matzdik the din, we say Hashem is a dayan, emes, and we don't have questions on him. We're matzdik the din that he He knows what's righteous and what's appropriate, and this is what was supposed to happen. So we also say such similar verses that talk about how Hashem's righteousness is true and B'tziduk Hadin. At this time after Mincha, Al Gimel Tzadikim Sheniftu B'Shalzu Yosef Moshe David. There were 3 tzaddikim that were nifter this time period on Shabbos afternoon. Yosef, Moshe, and David. The minig is not to make a shear between Mincha and Ma'ariv. Ki Chacham Shemeis Beis Midrashe Batel. The din is that someone, a Chacham who was nifter, his yeshiva is batel. The yeshiva calls it down to show that there's avelos. We don't continue like normal. The Hainu she'enam loindim b'chavur. They don't learn as a group together. Everyone learns on their own. You don't make bittul Torah, but we don't learn as a group b'chabura. Well, shnayim loindim b'b'teim. If people want to learn together as chavrusas, they can go learn in their house. But in the shul, there shouldn't be a formal shir, a formal chabura between Mincha and Ma'ariv.
Can I ask a question?
Let's finish the sif. Because Chacham Shemeis, because these 3 people were nifter, Yosef, Moshe, David, so we don't learn at that time. Therefore, the minig is to have the drasha before Mincha. What happens if the drasha is late? But you're going to have a mincha, and after mincha, you're not going to have time for Sudah Shlishis before mincha. So don't say Pirkei Avos or Shir HaMailas. There's a minig to say, are there kilos to have it today, this minig? To say all the Shir HaMailas. Who? Who by who? Who? They say all the Shir HaMailas? All the Shir HaMailas, the 15 Shir HaMailas in Tehillim, the Kapitel Star Shir HaMailas, during the winter they say that after, from Kuf Chaf and on, they say those after Mincha and Shabbos, during the summer they say Pirkei Avos. So this Shalosh Shudas is more important than saying this. So the drasha was a long drasha, the Rav had a long drasha, long shir, and that was Mincha. There's not going to be enough time to have Shalosh Shudas and do the Tehillim or Pirkei Avos afterwards. Skip the Tehillim and Pirkei Avos and go straight to Shalosh Shudas. So you can wash before Shkia. Now, Lamaisi, you're going to ask, this was your kasha maybe, that L'chora we do have shiur in between Mincha and Ma'ariv.
No,
so
that wasn't my shayla.
What was your shayla?
My shayla is that we see at the end of the Torah that Moshe was very, very busy the day that he would die. If you tell me that he died on Shabbos, how did he get to write a Sefer Torah, or finish Sefer Torah, and all these things for Shabbos?
It's a good kasha. It's from the Zohar. We have to look up the Zohar. Maybe it means at this time in the afternoon. That would be every day. L'chora it means after Shabbos. Basically, you have to look up the Zohar.
That's the only one that it's documented in the Torah. And that was documented from Yeshua Mustama, right? At the end?
Well, it's machloikis. One opinion is that the last 8 psukim are by Yeshua.
Right.
The other opinion is that Moshe wrote it, but Moshe wrote it with tears in his eyes. Hashem told him write these psukim, and he recorded his own misa. Now, the shaila over here is, we don't follow this minig over here. Minig is not to learn the chavrusa with the shir. Many places have shir, and we in Chabad we have say a Maimar Chasidus then.
Mm-hmm.
How can we do that? And many shuls have something. So
yeah, the Rav usually gives a shmuz.
Yeah.
No, but we're washing our hands before Shkia.
It is between Mincha and Ma'ariv.
We're washing our hands. It's not that he's giving that wash.
So there's two ways how to deal with it. Some opinions say, some poskim say, this minig only applied before Shkia. Doesn't apply after Shkia, after sunset. The time period that they were nifter is before Shkia. So you're not supposed to be keveya a shir after mincha before Shkia. That's the problem. But when we do it, it's after Shkia. The Maimer is said after Shkia. So the whole problem is doing a drasha, a shir, after Mincha, right after Mincha, before sunset. That's one way. Another thing is that since people are, it's much better than people sitting around talking Dvarim B'Teilim and not learning. If people are going to learn privately, but to themselves, okay, you keep the minig. But if they're not going to learn at all, then people are not learning at all. So better to not keep this minig. This minig only is that, not that you shouldn't learn. There's no issa learning. It's not like Nittel Nach Tisha B'Av, you're not learning. You're allowed to learn. You just shouldn't be learning B'Chabura. So, but if people are not going to be learning at all, so better to learn. Better to have a shir.
I have a question.
Which is something very important. A Rav has to always know, he has to look and see what's the best for the Kehillah. When you're dealing with such a type of minig, what's going to come from it? Is it going to come good things or not? If the minig is going to bring that not good things, we have to know. The Mishabura writes, he wants to be Mekel. He brings from a sefer that wants to be Mekel on Erev Tisha B'Av. The minig Ashkenazim is not to learn from Chatzos Erev Tisha B'Av already. Not only on Tisha B'Av itself not to learn, that's already something that comes from the Nevi'im. We don't learn on Tisha B'Av. But to already start not learning from Chatzos and on. So the Mishabura brings from a sefer which says that what happens if people are strolling around, they're taking leisure walks, or they're playing cards or other things, then better they should learn. So you have to know the chiluk. If the choice is the person's going to be, if people are behaving appropriately, so it's a time of avelus and the mood is toned down, so they're not learning, okay, so you keep to the minig, he's masking. But if the minig is being used out for the opposite of the intent, so then you don't want that.
I got a question. We know that Moshe, David, and Yosef, we do tziduk adin because they died in this period of time.
Yeah.
How about the other big tzaddikim? One that died in Shachrit, one in Mariv, one later afternoon. You have to do tziduk adin all the time. It's the problem.
The whole day.
The whole day. Only these three dafka die in that Shabbat.
Good, you have 3 in one shot, you know. We have to see, it's a Kabbalistic thing, you're right. It's hard to understand. We have to look up the source to understand Api Kabbalah,
Why dafka this?
why there's 3.
Was
By the way, these 3 happen to be from...
was in summer by the Kollel, Rabbi Hela giving a drosha without the you in Galai about Shalasudis to wash, and so he said, "You're so machmir to come to the video on Motzei Shabbos, you know, from the Rebbe Gem video, whatever. Nothing wrong with it, it's good. But we were your shachis. You're coming to shul at 10:30 and by Kir Satera and you're talking and your son see you, and then you don't want to eat Shalasudis and you go out to talk. There's no mimer. So what you hopping over here? On the coolest?"
He's right.
I was like so sharp.
Yeah, he's right. Listen, he's a sharp person. He likes to say it the way it is. Now, some people like to package, you know. Sometimes we need a package. Im chal Shabbos b'yoyim she'enim bei nefilas hapayim mincha. If Shabbos falls on a day that we don't say Tachnun by Mincha, there are certain days in the calendar where we don't only say Tachnun, not only say Tachnun on that day, we also don't say Tachnun on the Mincha before. The Mincha prior, we don't say Tachnun. Rosh Chodesh and Chanukah. So, like this year, right? Chanukah falls out Sunday to Sunday. So Erev Chanukah is Shabbos. So Shabbos Mincha, we don't say. Actually, no.
This week?
No, it's not. It's only when Chanukah falls. Shabbos, the Matzah Shabbos is the first night. The first night is Sunday night, right? First night of Matzah Shabbos? Matzah Shabbos, right. Matzah Shabbos, right. So you don't say Tachnun
2 weeks in
by
a row.
Mincha, it's a Kosva Tzedek. Chenim V'Shchodesh L'Machar, as well if V'Shchodesh is the next day, Ein Noigim Loimer Tzekoscha Tzedek, Tzedekah Tzekoscha
צדק העולם ותורת האמת.
שצריכות צדק.
Yeah, why does it say Vav over there? It's the Koscha Vitzis Koscha. The next pasuk it says Vitzis Koscha. That's why it's a Tzadik Vav Tzadik. It's Tzitz Koscha, Vitzis Koscha. It's not Tziduk. It has a Vav there. That's the Koscha Tzadik. Ein Noy Gelemer Tziduk Koscha Tzadik B'Mincha She'ebechol Gam Kein Noy Gelemer Nefil Sapayim B'Rish Chodesh Mincha. So for Chodesh on a Sunday we also don't say Mincha. So basically it has the same din as Tachnun. Whenever you don't say Tachnun, you're not going to say Tzidkas Chotzedek.
So the people that don't say Tachnun every Mincha, they never say Tzidkas on Shabbos?
No, they did.
But there's a lot of shul over here, I daven and never say
What about
Mincha.
shuls that I daven on Fridays and Sundays in the morning? He doesn't say tachnun.
No, that's down. What I'm saying, on Mincha they don't say Tachnun.
Fridays and Sundays, why not?
No time.
Chassidish, I don't know. This is
A lot of Chassidish groups are very, very lenient with Tachnun. But you should know that what you have is that Tachnun itself is a minig. The entire tefillah of Tachnun is a minig to say it daily. And therefore it says that since it's a minig, you follow the minig of every kilo follows its minig. It's not a halacha. I mean, there's a siman in Shulchan Aruch about it, but it's not a din, it's a minig.
If you learned it more
Well,
about
Maisa,
Tachnun, you
we
want to say
in
Tachnun.
Chabad we are actually the opposite. We're very makbid on Tachnun. And by the other Hasidim, when there's a day, not all of them, a lot of them, that whenever there's a day of a tzaddik's yard site, they don't say Tachnun. In Chabad, we dafka do say Tachnun on the tzaddik of a yard site. We say, oh, what better of a day to say Tachnun and to ask Hashem for Mechila than on the day of the yard site
Only
tzaddik.
when
Only when somebody comes out
got
from
out of jail, that's when we don't say tachnun.
They always tell me that.
What?
Who's came out from jail today? We don't have to say
We
Tachnun.
don't-
It was a Meiser one in the previous Rebbe, Lubavitch Rebbe came to visit the yeshiva in Poland. So the one who was there, the Maggid Shir, whoever was told the Bachrim, for the Mincha, we don't need to say Tachnun, the Rebbe's here. So the Rebbe said that when the Rebbe's here, it's not a reason not to say Tachnun. It's a reason you should first start saying Tachnun. The Rebbe should bring about in you that you should start to realize you have Vedas and try to work on it. So by us is the opposite idea. Even by them, it's really supposed to be only by the tzaddikim of their group. That now they have these calendars where they don't say yard site by any tzaddik's yard site. What is that supposed to mean? He's not your tzaddik that you follow his drachim. Suddenly they're collecting now dates of all.
There's a
This
book.
doesn't have source for
There's a
it.
book called Yahrzeit book. The shul way down in the morning.
Yeah,
They circle which day say which day not.
this is a joke.
Like once a week we say
It's a
Tachnun.
joke. In these cases, you should privately, try if you could, in a way not to make machlek. If you could go to a private place and say Tachnun, or go home and say Tachnun, but
They have to finish
say it
davening at 7
aside
p.m.,
somewhere.
so
You don't want to take.
there's no
You
time
don't
for
want to. This is what they do over there. You don't want to make a machlekes in a shul, but it's not what we should be
You
doing.
know, Sfaradim, if they have Baal Brit or Khatan in the shul, they don't say Tachnun.
Also us. Also same
Also
thing.
by you?
Yeah.
In 770 there's a light by the standard. When it's on, that means it's a chosen. Not because you don't know. There's so many people
Thousands
davening.
of the, yeah.
If the light is on, that means the chosen is there now.
But I don't know if the light is so. The
Accurate.
light needs to have a proper
Accurate.
have a psak from a rav.
Goodbye.
Because someone sees the light, he doesn't know why there's a simcha.
Right.
It's a chatan, it's a bris. Maybe someone was so happy, just turned on the light. You don't know why the light's on. Maybe the chassan left the shul.
By the beam and by the standard, there's a light.
Maybe the chassan left the shul,
And the light is still
or
on.
the sandik, or the father of the baby, and he left the shul, and the light's still going on. So, his
but some
presence is
people
still
like to
his
go-
presence is still felt.
No, that's
Therefore,
why
the
some
whole
people
thing
like
has
go
to be good
davening.
looked into, this whole thing. And besides, for the main thing, besides for the halachic aspects, the main thing is, there's an issue over here of a little bit of zilzul and tachnun. We're formally trying to find ways how to not say tachnun is not for sure not a chassidish attitude.
From the Gemara come out, the
We're not-
Tachnun is a good thing to say.
We're not looking to try to get away to, that's like, come, we gotta finish up davening, guys, we gotta go
If a
home.
guy specifically daven in Shane's shul or in Klein's shul, 'cause they hope that he's going to go be
A moyer or
a
something.
male.
Listen.
Their percentage of not saying it is higher if they daven over there.
We have to differentiate.
No, it's not in the shul, but he davens there.
I know.
I'll tell you one more halacha. I'll just finish over this and then I'll say another halacha. But we have to differentiate between things that we enjoy doing. You know, Yitzhahara gives a little kick out of doing, but we have to know whether to think about if it's really right or wrong. The fact that we're all excited that there's no tachanun, where is that coming from? The Yitzhahara or the Yitzhahara? You know, listen, we're not tzaddikim, but we have to always know what's really the right approach and the wrong. We should want to say tachanun, and we shouldn't try to be the leading part of davening. You know, even if we could get away with it, we're not. Are we trying to get away with the davening, get away with the mitzvahs? If someone's busy, someone has he has to go to work and he has to take care of things, then it's understandable. It's doiche. But on the other hand, if there's no just trying to get the davening behind you and like that, it's not a right attitude. Even if we, for some reason, don't feel on the level yet to hold that way, but at least in our mind frame, we should know this is not the right. The outlook is not supposed to be that we're trying to find ways how we can cut the davening short and make it in a short amount of time. We can make the Guinness World Book of Records for the quickest chazan. You know, we have to think. You don't have to make a very long davening. It should be normal davening, but
Maybe we're overburdened with
I told you, if someone
with the kadot and mitzvahs and all the things we have to
if
do.
someone has a
all the
hard time and
generations.
everything, I don't blame. But we have to remember
Nobody
that.
embraces that. In fact,
One more
maybe we're
halacha.
overburdened.
One more halacha. If you'd say Kaddish on Rish Chodesh, just connected over here.
After Asher Valencian, you
When-
put the Sefer Torah before
when-
Musaf.
There's 2 times a year it's Negeya.
Before Musaf.
Rish Chodesh, when the minig is to take off our tefillin
Before.
after Valencian, before Musaf.
Right.
Yeah.
And those who put on Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin also put on Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin then and take it off. So there's an issue because we're going to say a Kaddish before Musaf. You're not supposed to say a Kaddish unless you said Psukim before the Kaddish. So you're just saying a Kaddish, someone goes on, he's Kadal, and he goes and says Musaf. So therefore, the Rebbe pointed out to someone in a letter, someone wrote to the Rebbe like this, on Yom Kippur, the minig is in Yom Kippur, that after, when do they do a bris in Yom Kippur? When does the shul, when is a bris in shul, there's a family having a bris, when do they go to the bris? They make the bris after Kriyas HaTorah, before Musaf. So they have Kriyas HaTorah. After Kriyas HaTorah, they go out and have the bris, and they come back. Now they're going to go start Musaf. So they're going to say a Kaddish. So the person wrote to the Rebbe that the person should be saying some kapitel, a parak of Tehillim or something before. So the Kaddish should also be going on a mizmar, a pasuk. So the Rebbe said, "You're right." But I want to point out, it's not only important in Yom Kippur, but really this idea is Negeya every Rish Chodesh. Because you have the hefsik after Volatzion, you don't say a Kaddish, you take off your tefillin, the Rashi, and you put on Tam, or you don't. The Rebbe says it's a bigger issue, those that put on Tam. Just taking off Rashi, it might not be a hefsik, issue of a hefsik. Putting on another pair of tefillin is for sure constitutes a hefsik, and therefore the Chazan should say some psukim that he could say before he goes and says the Kaddish. It's not well known, but the Chazan should say it. Do you want to ask?
Does Chabad not say Tachnun and Zayin Oder?
Chabad says Tachnun, but the Rebbe's didn't. The Rebbe's privately didn't. They themselves didn't. It says clearly that the Chabad Rebbeim didn't say, but it said that everyone else should say. The art said about Tzaddik, Chabad always says Tachnun. That's the rule. Klal Gadol.
So why would the Rebbe's, after Fresh
Zayin
Menachim,
Oder
why would
Shabbat.
they themselves not?
Leaders have a connection to Moshe. I don't know.